What's going on, everybody? Josh Pocock here, founder and CEO of Executive Stride, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to connect to the GoHighLevel API version 2.0. You can do this through apps like Zapier, Make.com, n8n. We're going to cover a few in this video, and it's going to be completely seamless in a way where you're not going to have any headaches. So without ado, let's dive right in. All right, so I'll link these resources that I'm covering in the description below so you can follow along if needed, or if you're troubleshooting, you can check these out. But this is the support section of GoHighLevel, and it covers everything you really need to know about the API documents. All right, so there is API 1.0 documents. We're not going to cover that. Those are they're not updating these documents anymore. You don't want to use the 1.0. You want to use the 2.0. So going forward, be sure to use 2.0 for new integrations, as endpoints and new API functionality will be added here. As of now, not all endpoints from the 1.0 documents have been integrated to the API 2.0. Pro tip: to ensure an uninterrupted API integration, be sure to regularly review and update integrations as soon as new endpoints become available in 2.0 documents. oAuth 2.0 API version 2 has been renamed to API 2.0 for clarity. All right, we're not going to cover this whole thing, but you can see here differences between API access across plan levels. So basic API access includes with our starter and unlimited plans, while advanced API access is available for our agency pro plan, in addition to future endpoints that will be renamed in our oAuth 2.0 API, which is only available in our advanced API access. This tier unlocks the use of agency API keys, where lower plan levels only have access to location API keys. All right, so hope that makes sense. If you're on the starter or unlimited plan, you're going to be limited to the basic API. Or if you're on the agency plan, you can use the advanced API and use the agency keys. All right, and here is a picture basically just showing you what that actually looks like. So we can see here features: public API access, location API, Zapier integration, all this stuff right here. And then with advanced API, you get things like create a location, get location by location ID, update location, load snapshot. All right, so these definitely, if you're reselling GHL as a SaaS, or if you just are a marketing agency, you have a bunch of clients that you're uploading into GHL. Let's say you're using a snapshot. Let's say, for example, I run a marketing agency that's tailored to service, solar companies or home service companies, whatever the case may be. I have a master snapshot. All right, so I connect to the advanced API through Make.com or n8n, etc. And at each time my client fills out an onboarding form, then it's automatically creating a new location, updating that location, loading a snapshot, doing whatever it needs to do, adding the client to the snapshot location. So you can do a lot. The possibilities are really endless, but in today's video, I'm going to show you how to actually connect to it, because this is something I see a lot of people struggle with the API. It's a bit different than, your typical API. So there's the 1.0 documents. Like I said, we're not going to cover that. It really all starts within these the 2.0 documents. So this is the 2.0 documents. I'll link to this down below. If we go to the start right here, so welcome to the oAuth docs. All right, integrations API. All right, so overview. These APIs use oAuth 2 for flow and authentication. To get started, please follow authorization steps. All right, so we'll click on that. And I'm going to show you two ways to do this. All right, one is using Make.com. So if you're using Make.com, it's an alternative to Zapier. It's really great. I love it. I've done many videos on this channel about it. If you're new to the channel, check some of those out if you want to use Make, as well as anything regarding automations. And then the other tool is n8n. If you're not familiar with n8n, it's an amazing tool. In my opinion, it has a lot more freedom than Make.com or Zapier or anything like that. And also too, it's free because it's open source and you can self-host it. So I'm hosting it on my own VPS, and it's great. And it's actually a lot easier to connect to n8n than Make.com. I mean, it's very simple for both ways. We're going to cover it, but n8n already has like kind of a somewhat of a native integration for the API for GoHighLevel specifically. So I'll show you that in just a second, but authorization. So This is basically high-level supports authorization code grant flows with version 2. Here's a step-by-step guide. Here's a Loom video. So there is a Loom video. I didn't even check this out, I believe, but you could check this out if you're struggling. I actually did watch this a long time ago. But so register an oAuth app. You're going to have to register an app in the marketplace. So go to the marketplace. It's marketplace.com. Marketplace.GoHighLevel.com. You're gonna have to sign up for a developer account. All right, it's very simple. You just sign up. Once you do that, you're gonna want to go to My Apps, click on Create an App, fill out the required details in the form, then your app will be created. Click on the app, and it will take you to the settings where you can configure the scopes, generate the keys, etc. And then add the app to the desired location, authorization page, URL. All right, I'll show you. This is all going to be done in Make and n8n. Same thing for getting the app's authorization page URL. So this is the URI. For make.com, you're going to have to get the URI, and this is for standard. This is for white labeled. I would just suggest doing white labeled. There's really no point in doing standard. It just makes sense to do white labeled. Even like it just makes sense, right? Because, you know, white labeled is just better, right? Because it's like your software. All right, so we are going to, when we get to the URI point, you're just going to copy this link before the question mark, and I'll show you that in a second. And we only have to do this within make.com. Within n8n, it's already done for us. So now that we know that, let's go to Marketplace, and let me go to App Dashboard and My Apps. And for purposes of this, you would just create a new app. So you can name your app anything, right? And you're going to want to put it to private. All right. If you're like creating an actual app where, you know, like you want it to be marketed in the GoHighLevel marketplace, then you would do public, but it has to go through reviews, etc., etc. If you're just using this for internal purposes, your team, clients, etc., private is the route you want to go. Distribution type, it just makes most sense in my opinion to do both. But realistically, if you don't, yeah, I would personally do both. But and then listing type, white labeled, recommended. So yeah, like I said, white labeled, it makes the most sense. And you would just create the app. I already have an app created, so I'm just going to show you this one. So once you get into the app, there's a few things you're going to want to do. Well, really, you're just going to want to set the scopes. So depending on, like if I go over to the GHL API docs, if I go to scopes, you'll be able to see all the scopes. You can also see these scopes within the app as well. And also just one thing to note, you'll see the access type here, depending on the scopes. So the company access type is the agency plan. So if you don't have that, you can't do that. Like for example, enable SaaS locations, like all this stuff. This is company. Actually, this is company sub account. So this is company. You can't do get snapshots if you don't have agency plan. So yeah, there it just shows the access level there. And then these are just the different scopes. And it shows what the API endpoint would be, such as get businesses or post or put business ID, etc. So those are the scopes. Depending on what you're doing, you would put different scopes, of course. Let's just say for this example, we're going to want to, I don't know, get calendar information, right? So in that case, well, I actually have a bunch of scopes here, but the main ones that we would want for that is just calendar ones right here. So I have calendar read only, calendar write. I also have some other ones here. You could basically put as many as you want or as little as you want, right? I have forms read only, calendar events write, and then locations read only, and then conversations, and I have forms as well. So yeah, you can just put your scopes, and then for the redirect URL, for me, I have n8n.executivestride.com/rest/oAuth 2 credentials callback. And the way you get that is for n8n, it is, let me just show you. So here's my n8n scenario. I'm going to show you n8n and make.com. So it's very similar, but it's somewhat different if you're using either one. So all you do is you just create an HTTP request in n8n. We can just leave it as get for now. We don't have a URL at the moment, but you would do predefined credential type because n8n actually already has a predefined authentication type, and that credential type will be, of course, high-level oAuth 2 API, right? What this is going to do is it's basically already included that URI that I showed you earlier. So we don't have to do that. And then you're just going to add your high-level account. So you would actually have to go here, create new credential. And basically, it's going to give you an oAuth redirect URL right here. And you would just select what the authorization URL is right there. So for us, it's off white label, of course. And then I'm not going to show obviously my client ID, or well, you can see my ID here. You don't see my secret, but you'll paste your client ID here and your secret. And we're going to get that from the app in our marketplace. And then we're just pasting our scopes in here. I'll show you in just a second. For the scopes, you don't separate them by a comma. You literally just paste them in word for word with a space in between. All right. So separate scopes with space, scopes needed for node, etc. So once you do that, you can save it and you're good to go. And then I'll show you the rest in just a second. But so on n8n, it's a bit easier. If you're doing it for, all right, so for Integromat, if you're using Integromat, you would actually use https //integromat integromat.com /oauth /cb /oauth 2. Okay. So you don't know, Integromat was what make was called before, and you would just add that. All right, so you could go like this, and then once you save, you would have to save first, and then once you save, you could select what redirect URL you want, right? So for us, I'll show you both, like I said, and then client keys, you would want to go ahead and add a new client key. You can name it whatever. Once you create that, it's going to give you your client ID with your client secret. All right. Once you actually, you're going to have to copy those and save them like in your notepad or something, because you won't be able to access that again once you create it. So you're going to want to save that. And then that is pretty much the main things. Those are pretty much it. I mean, like, yes, there's other options here. We're not going to cover that. You know, there's different things you can do, of course, in these apps, but this is the main stuff you want for before we start integrating. All right, so I pretty much showed you what to do with n8n. It's a lot easier just because I mean, it's not really a lot easier. It's very straightforward. There's really nothing too different. With make.com, it's a little bit different, still very, very easy. And also too, guys, I meant to cover this, but one reason you may be asking, okay, why do I need to connect to the high-level API? Well, because there's many actions that the built-in n8n as well as the built-in make.com high-level module or node can't allow you to do. So you can see here, like, we can do stuff with contacts, opportunities, tasks, campaigns, notes. We can't do anything with calendars here, right? We can't do anything with, you know, whatever the case may be, snapshots, this, that. So you're going to need to use the API. Same thing here, opportunities, tasks, contacts. That's all we have in the n8n node. All right. So now if we go to, and now just because I'm going to show you the the make.com one, I'm going to change the redirect URL here just for the purpose of this video, even though I have been using n8n more recently, but let's go here to make.com. Okay. So all I did here for the set, actually, we don't even need to worry about that. But yeah, all you're going to do is you're going to create a HTTP request and you're going to make it oAuth 2.0 request. Okay. Now, once you do that, it's going to look like this. All right. You have your headers here, query string, body type, URL, etc. You're going to want to go here to add a new credential or a new connection. All right. From that point, we're just going to name it GoHighLevel authentication. All right, we'll just call it ES and authorize URI. So where we're going to get this is if we go back to our docs here, just drag this here. All right. And I'm going to go back to authorization. Okay. And then while that's loading, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. All right. And here is the authorization page URL. And we're just going to grab this right here. All right. So everything before the question mark and these parameters, we are going to grab, and we are going to go back to make and put that right here. Okay. And then we're going to go back to the authorization, and then we're going to go to oAuth at 2.0 right here. And we're going to click on get access token. Okay. And once this loads up, we are going to go like this. We're going to copy this access token link right here. And simply, we are just going to paste it right here. Okay, once you paste it in, there's going to be a space right after the M here. So we're going to want to remove that. And then you have your authorized URI. You have your token URI. Now we're going to add our scope. So with make, it's actually a bit different. You don't add them in the spaces. You add them one by one. So I have my scopes over here in a text notepad on the right hand side on my other screen. So I'm just going to add all the scopes that we had. All right, like I said, you can use any scopes you want. We're just using these ones for the purpose of this video. So I'm just adding these in. These are actually, this is actually more than we really need, but let's see here. Boom. Okay. Got a couple more here to go. Here we go. And last one, last but not least. Boom. Okay. Now our client ID and secret. So I'm going to paste that in. And let me just make sure I got the right one. Let me just double check. I'm going to name this. Let me just move it over here. So I don't want everyone seeing my client ID and secret. So I'm just going to call this make.com. Okay. Boom, client ID. Don't really care about that. And let me just bring this over here when I put in the secret. Okay, so here what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on show advanced settings, and then you're going to want to change the scope separator from comma to space. All right, then we're going to go ahead and click save. This is going to load up the oAuth GHL side of things. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie. The make.com one is definitely okay. It's not even more challenging. It's just I was making a stupid mistake. So one thing I want to clarify. One thing I do want to clarify is the redirect URL. One, when I showed it in the first message, I spelt it wrong. I had an R here, so that's why I was getting a 400 error. And then second, I had it like this, and I was getting another 400 error. So you need to do it exactly like this: https://www. So if I didn't have the www dot, and then integromat.com/oauth/cb/oauth2. All right, so make sure you get that right, or else you're gonna have issues. All right, so now we actually got our connection finally. You guys don't know how long that took. Took about 15 minutes of troubleshooting there. So now that we got that, you can go ahead and actually, well, one, we're connected to the API on both n8n and make.com. I'll show you a very, very simple one that we'll do right here. So calendars, let's go to get calendar. All right, from get calendar, we can just go. So this is going to be a get request right here. Let's go like this, copy that. And what I'm going to do here applies for make or n8n. So we'll do a get request here. We're going to need our calendar ID. So I'm just going to go here, grab this calendar ID right here and paste this right here. Okay. And we also are going to need to send the headers of the version. Right, so we can do that right here, API version, and then go like this, boom, and this, let me just check this, this should work. I'm gonna test it. Okay, so just to clarify, we posted the calendar link right here for the API, then we're posting our calendar ID right here. And I actually put API version here. It's just version. All right, we're passing this header of version and then the version that we get right here. All right, so make sure you're not copying API version. You're just copying version. All right, and then we go ahead and, oops, if we go ahead and run this, you'll see we just returned, we see an input here and then status code 200. Headers, etc., cookie data, and then data. All right, so we have all our info on the actual calendar. All right, we can see different time slots, etc. So that is exactly how you connect to the GoHighLevel version 2 API. All right, it's a little bit more, I mean, it's fairly simple. If you follow this step by step, you can connect to it on make.com, n8n. Same thing applies to Zapier. Very easy once you kind of get the hang of it, do it once. And you just make sure that whether you're using n8n or Zapier or make.com, you're really looking at those, the URL and everything you do, as well as the scopes that you put into your app. You got to put all the scopes when connecting. All right, if you do anything wrong just by a little bit, you're going to get a 400 error and it's not going to tell you what is wrong. So you're going to have to troubleshoot. It's very simple, but if you just make one tiny little mistake or you spell something wrong, then you're going to have to troubleshoot the whole thing and try to, it could take a little bit. So try to get it right from the start. If you need to, watch some of these parts of this video back. And also too, guys, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below, guys. If you're new to this channel and you got value from this video, then make sure to smash that subscribe button, drop a like and a comment. And if you're into GoHighLevel, you like seeing different GoHighLevel builds, whether it's including the API, I just dropped a video yesterday. It's a complete banger going over how to use conversation AI, GoHighLevel's conversation AI feature, so you can fire your appointment setters and have a appointment setting savage AI bot basically booking your appointments on autopilot from the leads that come in, whether it's through your Facebook ads, lead forms, YouTube ads, organic traffic, whatever the case may be, instead of having to have a real life person sitting there. And people can be lazy or just inefficient. You can have an AI appointment setter following up through your leads, nurturing them along the process and sending you appointments while you basically sleep. Check out that video I made yesterday. It is great. You're going to get tons of value from that if you are a GoHighLevel fan. And if you like to stay up to date with business automations, workflow automations, make.com, Zapier, n8n, GoHighLevel, how to grow your business, AI, all that stuff. That's what this channel is about. And I got a lot of really valuable videos planned for you guys. And, I'm really going hard on this channel. We do a video every single day. So if you want to stay up to date, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for what is to come. Also, if you're new here, guys, and you're an entrepreneur, AI enthusiast, coach, consultant, marketing agency, whatever the case may be, and you haven't already joined our Stride community, it's currently a free community. All right, right now it's free. We may do a school community or paid one very soon, but at the moment it's free. You can join. We have about 750 members in our Facebook group and Discord channel, so link for that will be in the description below, stridecommunity.com. And then also too, guys, if you want help growing your business, leveraging things like automation systems, etc., if you want us to implement that AI appointment setting bot into your business that literally books you appointments on autopilot, then you can book a call at executivestride.com/apply. All right, that's executivestride.com/apply. Book a call to speak to me. We can see if we can help grow your business, optimize your business, whether you're at 10K, you want to get to 30K, whether you're at 30K, you want to get to 50K, 50K to 100K, whatever the case may be, or you're at 100K, you want to get to 200, 300K. We can help optimize your systems, create a dialed in process, sales process, lead generation machine, etc., leveraging AI, leveraging systems, and all that good stuff. So other than that, guys, I hope you got some value from this video. I will see you in tomorrow's video, guys. Keep hustling, keep grinding, and of course, accelerate your stride. Take care, guys.